Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/NoDQCW. Let's get right down to your questions. If, and that's a big if, The Rock happens to lose the WWE Championship match at Royal Rumble, do you think that there's a possibility of seeing The Rock versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 29? Let me start off by saying that I think it's highly unlikely that we will see The Rock versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 29 or at WrestleMania period. Right now, The Undertaker's status for WrestleMania is very much up in the air. So let's not even think about Rock versus Undertaker until we know for sure that Undertaker is going to be at WrestleMania. WWE seems hell-bent on building up to the big John Cena versus Rock rematch at WrestleMania, and there's always a possibility that they could change plans, and I've talked about this before. I would love to see something different. I would love to see The Rock versus Undertaker at WrestleMania. I mean, The Rock is one of the few guys that I think fans would believe could end The Undertaker's winning streak. There's a very short list of guys at this point that would be believable against The Undertaker. So The Rock would be one of those guys, and that would be a huge match. But John Cena is still WWE's top star. The problem with Undertaker versus Rock is that they're two part-timers, and I think WWE wants the headline match at WrestleMania to involve John Cena. John Cena is their top full-time superstar, so he needs to be in a key match at WrestleMania. I don't think WWE will want to have their biggest match be between two guys that aren't regulars on the roster. So that's another reason why I think it's a long shot, and I think more than likely we will see Rock win at Rumble and then go on to WrestleMania and lose to John Cena. And I hope something different happens, but right now that's what I'm calling. Hey Aaron, I've been watching your show for several months and I love it. Thank you for that. My question is, what is your overall opinion about Shawn Waltman and his run not only as the 1-2-3 Kid and X-Pac in WWE, but also as Six in WCW? Jason from Arizona. I definitely see Shawn Waltman as one of those guys that was a bit underrated. I don't hear a lot of people talk about him, and I think that he was a great in-ring performer, and he doesn't get enough credit, I don't think. He had a great run as the 1-2-3 Kid, and he had some really good matches during that period in WWE. I remember the SummerSlam 1995 match with Hakushi, and I remember him facing Bret Hart on Raw. He had some really good matches that people have overlooked, I think. And then, a lot of people think that he's just a guy that made it because he was friends with Kevin Nash and Scott Hall and Shawn Michaels, but the thing about Shawn Waltman is that he went to WCW, and he was a major player in the NWO. I mean, he came up with a lot of those slogans, and he brought a lot of the coolness to the NWO group. And his shirt with the 6-ball on the back, that was one of the best-selling T-shirts in WCW. And then Eric Bischoff let him go thinking that he was just a minor player, but he came in the night after WrestleMania 14, and he cut this promo, and I remember watching it, and I'm thinking that this guy just jumped from WCW, and this is a sign that WWE is the place to be. Shawn Waltman came out, and he made a huge impact, and he proved that he was a major player despite what other people think. And he's credited with the whole X-Pac heat thing, but I think that he was a great performer, and I think he did accomplish a lot in the wrestling business, and he deserves more credit than I think he gets sometimes, definitely. This is from Matty Don. Do you think that it's possible for Jericho to return at the Royal Rumble and win, since he's never won one before, and then go on to win the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania 29? As of right now, I think that that's highly unlikely. Chris Jericho came back last year right before the Royal Rumble, and he put over Sheamus. I think that was the role that Jericho was playing. He was coming in as the veteran, helping out the younger talent. I suppose he could always come back at some point and get one last big push, but as far as this year, this Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, don't see it happening. I think that he's going to keep focusing on Fozzy for the time being, and he's even said it himself that um, appearing at WrestleMania 29 is unlikely. So I take him for his word. You know, Chris Jericho tries to work people sometimes, and he'll say something, and then he actually means something else, and you never know when he's telling the truth or when he's just trying to trick people or work them. But in this case, I really do think that it's unlikely he'll be at WrestleMania. This is from Daniel Cole, WWE. When WCW was beating WWE during the Monday Night Wars, what show were you watching live, Raw or Nitro? Well, I have to be honest here, and I'm on the West Coast, and back in 95 and 96, actually I think it was 95 through 98, Nitro would air for me at 5 o'clock. So I could watch Nitro, and Raw was on the West Coast delay, so I was able to watch Raw at 8 o'clock. So I could watch Nitro first and then watch Raw. But if I had to choose, I would say when the NWO got going in summer of 1996, when Monday night came along, I was looking forward to Nitro more than Raw. I think that the tide started to turn for me just a couple months later. Once the Steve Austin storyline got going with Bret Hart, and you know the whole gun thing with Brian Pillman, and just Austin doing all these crazy stunts and being controversial, I started paying more attention to Raw, and Raw started to intrigue me more. So I would say for a few months in the summer '96, I was definitely more interested in the WCW product. But I think by early '97, WWE had drawn my interest back in. But like I said, I was able to watch both shows up until '98. In '98, WCW stopped airing live on the West Coast, and it was on that 3-hour delay. So at that point, I started taping Nitro and watching Raw live. This is from AdYman182. How big will TNA be in the next 10 years? Is TNA going to be going in the right direction, or does it need more improvement? It's impossible to say where TNA will be in 10 years. There's just no way to predict that. Although, considering the fact that TNA has survived their first 10 years, would not surprise me to see them around in another 10 years. But anything can happen between now and then. Are they going in the right direction? I would say no, because their numbers aren't moving. Their numbers have stayed consistent. They keep doing the 1.0 ratings. Their pay-per-view buy rates are at a certain level where their hardcore fans buy it, and that's it. They haven't drawn in any new viewers or attracted a casual audience. It just hasn't happened. So until they start bringing in new viewers and building their product and building their audience, I would say no, they're not going in the right direction. This is from JJ666. Hey Aaron, please answer in video. Oh, here we go with that again. Do you think that WWE will do a WCW One Night Stand pay-per-view like they did with ECW? No. ECW was a very unique brand, and that's why they could do an ECW One Night Stand pay-per-view, because ECW was very distinctive with their style, the types of matches, the hardcore wrestling, the characters were very unique. What exactly would a WCW One Night Stand pay-per-view be? What would make it so different from a regular WWE show? What made WCW so different? I mean, I suppose they could have a bunch of cruiserweight matches, and the main event would have 10 Stings running down, and the bell ringing constantly, and Tony Schiavone yelling, "We're out of time." I mean, I just don't get what a One Night Stand WCW pay-per-view would have on it. And who would you have on the pay-per-view? Would you have 50-year-old Kevin Nash with the NWO shirt? Would you have Buff Bagwell out there with his top hat? I just don't know what they would do, and I just don't think people would be interested in seeing that. And it just too much time has passed. Also, the guys that were top stars in WCW. I mean, Lex Luger, he's not going to be able to come out there and do anything. So yeah, I don't think that pay-per-view will happen. This is from Dan 2007. Here's an interesting scenario. What if Dolph Ziggler were to win the Royal Rumble, face the world champion, lose the match, and then cash in his Money in the Bank contract. Could you see this happening at all? It is a possibility, and then that's an interesting a storyline that you present here, where Dolph Ziggler would win the Rumble and then go on to WrestleMania, lose the match, and then cash in Money in the Bank immediately after the match. That's something different that WWE hasn't done, but Ziggler winning the Royal Rumble, right now I would bet against that, but we'll have to see how things play out in the next couple months. I'm not ready to make any kind of prediction for the Royal Rumble, other than John Cena winning and going on to WrestleMania. I mean, that's if I had to make a call right now, I would go with that. But I have to see what direction WWE is going in with the world title, and I just don't know at this point. I don't know who's going to be champion come January, but by the time the Royal Rumble comes along, I'll have a better idea if I think Dolph Ziggler is going to win it or not. But he wouldn't have to win the Royal Rumble, just maybe have a world title match somehow, get into a world title match, lose it, and then cash it in, so that they could do that without him having to win the Rumble. I could very well see something like that, so we'll see. All right, that'll do it for this edition of No DQ&A video. Please subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQ&AW. Keep spreading the word of mouth. That really helps out a lot. Tell a friend on Facebook or Twitter. Send them a link to No DQ&A video. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all the latest regarding Turning Point and Survivor Series coming up soon. So, see you next time.